Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
It's time for the Recruit of the Week.
Hi, everyone. You listen to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm Lee Brecheen. Our guest today is one of the top offensive linemen, because he can play any position that you give him. He'd probably be an All-American tight end in college one day, but he's so athletic. But Will, the All-American future Campbell from Neville High School. Will, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Will, a lot of Tiger fans in Baton Rouge got excited when you committed to LSU, the purple and gold. I think they were partying in Baton Rouge for about 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited myself. I can't wait to get down there.
What made you to commit to LSU? I know everybody recruited you. By the way, your freshman year, I went to a game remember when y'all played Lakeshore in the playoffs?
Yes, sir. I do. Yes, sir.
I was at the game with Bubby Brister.
Okay.
And I was on the sideline, and I told Coach McCarty at the time, I said, Coach, who's this big guy warming up, this senior? And I told him your number, and he said, Lee, that's a freshman. I said, no way, Coach. Because
I was a little bit smaller then than I am now.
Yeah, but I was looking at your buddies, Logan Newell
Logan Newell, yes, sir.
And Max Mitchell. And, obviously, give a little kudos to ULL. They're both at ULL, both probably playing NFL one day. And,
yes, sir.
And you were the only freshman. I don't remember a freshman ever starting at Neville line. But anyway, you were at least 6'4", 6'5", probably 250, 240, whatever you were at the time.
I was 6'4", 235.
But, boy, you could move. And I said, this guy's mean. I mean, this guy.
Yes, sir.
This guy brings his lunchbox, man. He destroys people. And Bubby Brister's like, man, that kid's good. You know who Bubby Brister is.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. I used to stay at his house all the time.
Yeah, in Covington. He lives in Covington now. And Bubby played for the Steelers from Neville and went to Alabama. Went to Northeast College, which they call ULM now. But, Will, I mean, all these schools, and I know Nick Saban actually is still calling. I think y'all did your dad told me that Brian told me that y'all had a big, what do you call it, one of those conference?
Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
Yes, sir, Zoom.
And I remember your dad, Brian, saying that he didn't want Nick to see him, so he was listening to what Nick was telling you and your mom, and he said, this guy said all the right things. He was like trying to recruit, This was incredible that you were able to tell Saban, obviously that you were going to end up going to LSU. That was probably tough, huh?
Yes, I mean, it came down, three of the main schools were LSU, Alabama, and Oklahoma, and those really were my final three. But, it came down to, where I wanted to be and, where I see myself, being my best at. And, LSU is home. I've grown up going to games there. One of my best friends, Walker Howard, is going to be my quarterback while I'm there. And, it's a family like no other. I love Coach Craig, Coach O, and all the coaches. And it's just that nothing like a Saturday night in Death Valley, and to be able to experience that, it's gonna be a great time.
I'll second that, Will. Nothing like Saturday night, and it never rains in Tiger Stadium. You've heard of that too.
Oh yes, sir.
Walker Howard's daddy was on the cover. Jamie Howard was on the cover of my first magazine in 1993. Did you know that?
Yes, sir. My dad told me that.
And I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old to have talk about, and then Walker's committed, and he's like the next coming of one of the great ones. And
yes, sir.
And your dad told me that story about how you and Walker became friends, that y'all played one another on the field against Neville and STM. Tell everybody what Walker did. Your dad told me that Walker went up to you and introduced himself right after the game.
Yes, sir. So, me and him, we had kind of, heard about each other. He got a couple offers. So, I seen his name on Twitter, and I knew that, that's where he played. And when we were after, they kind of stomped on us pretty good that night. We were walking through the line, shaking hands, and he told me he needed to talk to me after. And he came up to me and said, you're going to be my left tackle at LSU, and we're going to go win a national championship.
Wow.
And then right after that, me and him, instantly became really close. I go down to his house all the time, and me and his family are close. He's close with my family, and I mean, we consider each other family. And, to have the bond like that, and when I feel like, he trusts me with his blind side, and I know that with him behind me, we're going to have an electric offense, and I just feel like our bond is unbelievable.
Will, I'm going to tell you what, if I was a recruit right now, I'd commit right now, man.
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. We got something special coming up, me and him, and, some of the other guys, we're recruiting every day just like a coach. We know who we want and know what we need. And right now, we got our eyes on specific people that we're going after, and we're going to make sure we get them.
Will, I wanted to tell you, what do you think of some of the other commitments from Louisiana? Aaron Anderson's a phenomenal player from Edna Carr. Dakota's Crawford's a phenomenal player from Green Oaks. The Welch kid from Acadiana is one of the best in the country, a corner. A.J. Johnson, and, hey, Bo Bordelon. He's a big lineman. Y'all could be like two tackles, like Twin Towers one day.
Yeah, so, me and Bo, we know each other through Walker. That's how we met, We became friends and that type of stuff. I think me, Walker, and Bo, plan on rooming together. But, like you said, some of the other guys, Aaron Anderson, I mean, I've seen me and him freshman year played against each other and sophomore year. And the kid is dangerous. I mean, he can run and jump better than any people I've ever seen. I mean, he's an outstanding athlete, and he knows what he's doing. He's a great team player from what I can see. And he's going to be that guy that, if you need to make a play, you go to him. And
yeah.
I mean, I hadn't really been able to see any of the other guys play, but, seeing videos with Terrence, he's shut down. And A.J. Johnson is a freak athlete. And really all the guys, committed are going to be a big part in what we do in the future. And then if they weren't going to be that, they wouldn't have this opportunity. So, everybody like this has a chance, they're going to be good and that type of stuff.
Will, we're going to take a quick break, bring you back, and I'm going to tell you something. I really mean it from the top of my heart.
Yes, sir.
Your potential coming out. I've seen kids come out of Monroe, West Monroe for 30 years. I've been scouting for 30 years that area. And I'm going to mention all the great ones I've seen, and I'll tell you where I'll put you in there, at the high school level coming out for college. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
We've got Will Campbell as our guest, one of the top football players in the United States, not just offensive lineman, from Neville High School in Monroe, committed to LSU for the class of 222. We'll be right back. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. You're listening to Sports Scouting Report. Our guest, Will Campbell from Neville High School, committed to LSU, offensive lineman. Will, I've been watching football going 30 years, and when I think of O-linemen, I've seen Rodney Reed that played at West Monroe at LSU. Cam Robinson, Cam Robinson.
Yes, sir.
He was a Ouachita boy. We can't say West Monroe. He went to Ouachita for a while.
Yes, sir.
Andrew Whitworth, still doing it today in the NFL, went to LSU, West Monroe. Rudy Niswanger from Ouachita Christian. Brandon Hurley, Ouachita Christian, LSU. Brad Smalling, West Monroe, LSU. And then your two buddies, Max Mitchell and Logan Newell, I put them in there. They're great players at ULL currently. And let me tell you where I put you. I put you right behind, up there with Andrew Whitworth, Will.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Andrew was a tight end at West Monroe, 6'7", 270. You're about, 280 now, 275?
I'm actually 290 right now, 6'6", 290. Yes, sir.
And you don't look it, which is a good thing. It's a compliment. And you can move. You got great hands, great footwork. You finish blocks. You can pull. I watched the Ruston game this year, and I saw you as a freshman against Lakeshore. But that Ruston game, man, you were operating like a college senior, the way you move around. And I'm going to tell you, you don't take plays off. And I know your dad's got to be proud of you. And I want to mention some of your O-line buddies. They're going to love you for this. Daniel Breard is a great lineman coming back on your O-line, 6'2", 270. Kane Day is going to be 6'1", 270 coming back. Running back Anthony Allen is going to be a good player on your team. Britt Batterford, your quarterback. Lorenzo Dubose is a great receiver, I think, DB.
DB, yes, sir.
And Landon Sorrell, undersized center guard. And Zeb Riddell's going LSU baseball.
Yes, sir. He's actually playing right now.
And Kendall January, linebacker. Samari Wright, D-tackle. Enos Sledge, D-tackle. Both could go D1 probably. And then Logan Smith, an undersized, really good linebacker. What a group coming back, huh? Will, for Neville.
Yes, sir. I mean, we have a great senior class coming back, and our bond with each other is unbelievable. I mean, we know what we got to do this year and what's at stake. I mean, the past 3 years, I've been on varsity. We've been kind of beat down pretty good in the semifinals. We aren't going to let that happen anymore. We have, like you said, Anthony Allen. He's probably one of the most underrated players in the country. I mean, he's big, strong, fast, physical, and he wants to run it downhill. And really just the O-line coming back, 5 starters. I mean, it's going to be huge. Getting a year under some of those guys' belt is exactly what we needed to come back to have a great year this year. Our quarterback, Brett Batterford, he's a great player, great leader, and a great athlete. And like you said, all our guys on defense, they're headhunters. They know what they got to do and what's at stake whenever they're on the line and guarding a receiver. So, we just got to, keep working, rub it off on the younger guys, show them what it's like, have a great bond, what it's going to take, make it to the state championship and make a run at this thing.
Hey, and look, Will, DeBose is a DB. I think he's phenomenal. I think he'll end up in this class at LSU, don't you, possibly, when it's said and done?
Well, I'm going to try. I mean, I think they're going to offer him. I think they'll offer him eventually, yes, sir. I mean, he's one of, the most natural corners I've ever seen. He's big, long, fast. He's physical and he doesn't panic. When the ball goes up, it's like nothing ever happened. He's just going to go make a play. And I think that's one thing that sets him apart from other DBs is he doesn't panic. I mean, he's just so natural with it. It looks like he isn't even trying, but, it's just how he is.
Yeah. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'm going to mention some of the greats who come out of the school at Neville, baseball and football. You tell me your favorite former Neville Tigers who you idolize the most when we come back. We're going to have more Will Campbell from Neville High School, committed to LSU for the class of 222. We'll be right back. Looking for a used car? Harvey Autos has 3 dealerships, which means 3 times the used vehicles. They've got everything from fuel-efficient compacts to luxury models, even hybrids, and certified pre-owned with a warranty. Check out John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, or Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Welcome back. You listen to Sports Scouting Report. We've got Will Campbell from Neville High School, committed to LSU. I think the top offensive lineman to come out of Louisiana. Will, I don't mean to put pressure on you, in the last 15 years. I'm thinking about 15 years. So, great players from Neville High School that I've seen. Robert Lane, quarterback. Bob Lane, his dad. Bubby Brister, Hootie Jones with Alabama. Rashard Lawrence. Oliver Lawrence with LSU. John Diarse.
Yes, sir.
College coaches Bill Johnson, Barry Rubin, Rob Sells, now with the Giants, former LSU offensive lineman. Justin Ellis played at Tech and the Raiders, and Larry Anderson played for the Dolphins back before I was born. But out of all these former players, Will, who do you like or idolize the most that played at Neville?
Growing up as a kid in Monroe, you dream of, playing football at Neville. I mean, it's just like kind of a part of it. And I mean, going to the games every Friday night and just seeing all those guys run out of that tunnel and you're like, you wish you're just ready to get there. Yeah. But, some of the guys, that I got to watch, that were really great, made a huge impact to the program were Cavante Turpin, John Diarse, Rashard Lawrence, Courtney Wallace, and the list goes on and on. I mean, there's been great players come out of Neville every year. And, those are just, a few of the guys that I got to watch. And, they're still being successful today. Rashard Lawrence, he's with the Cardinals right now. And Cavante Turpin's playing in some league, but, they're all electric players and all coming out of there that I used to watch it when I was a little kid.
It's crazy. People don't realize this, but baseball, let me mention all the guys from Neville that went MLB in baseball. Red Swanson, Wayne Causey, Alex Presley, Tom Brown, Rafe Rhymes, LSU.
Yes, sir.
A lot of great baseball players out of Neville, a lot of good track guys. Turning our attention to Coach Craig. What do you think of James Craig, the former San Diego Chargers offensive line coach and now LSU O-line coach? What did you think of them getting that O-line award in 19, having the best O-line in the country?
That's big. I mean, that doesn't come, just with, having a good O-line. I mean, obviously it does, but, it comes with hard work, guys who are dedicated, have a bond with each other, just like no other. I mean, you don't just get that award for, some luck, like I said. Coach Craig is a great guy and a family guy, and that's big to me. Because I'm going to be away from home, obviously, for 4 or 5 years, however long it is.
Yeah. And
to have somebody that I know, will generally care about me and that type of stuff. And I'm not, just there to play football and just there as, kind of like he told me. I mean, his O-linemen are like his other kids. I mean, we're with him every day, doing something literally every day with him. So it played a big part, where I was making my decision. And my parents love him. I love him. We actually did a Zoom with him last night. He's a great guy, and, he definitely knows his stuff. I mean, like you said, he's coached with the San Diego Chargers, and, one of the main guys that I know that he's coached is Tyron Smith. He'll be a future Hall of Famer. He's played 15 years in the NFL. He's with the Cowboys right now.
Yeah.
He coached him at USC, so he definitely knows what he's doing. So that's never been a worry. But, really just making sure me and him had the relationship, and which we have since the first day I met him, was just a really big part to me.
Will, tell me about Craig. What's his biggest strength as a recruiter? Is he just say all the right things? Is it coaching? Does he talk a lot of ball with you? What got you with Coach Craig when you first met him?
One of the things that, not every coach does, but, a lot of them do, but he just did it a lot more. It's not all about football, like I said. I could talk to him about, anything. I could talk to him about me going fishing today or something like that. I mean, he wants to know, what's going on, with me, my family, how everybody's doing, that type of stuff. So, you can tell when somebody genuinely cares, right. Really wants you. And I got that from him.
Yeah, because when everybody gets to campus, you become a student. You're going to work all day. You're going to probably do more than you did in high school, and you're going to need people that care for you, like you said, outside the game, outside the wearing the helmet. But Ed Orgeron, similar guy, huh? Emotional guy, can get everybody up, can give the pep talks and make you run through a wall, huh, Will?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure.
What do you think of Ed and the way he recruits? He's relentless when he's recruiting kids in state and all over the country, but he did it in 19. They won a championship. Joe Burrow, he doesn't get enough credit for signing Joe Burrow. People say, well, look, he didn't, this and that. But Joe Burrow almost went to Nebraska, and they were able to get him to come to LSU. But, that just speaks highly of Coach to be able to identify to get a guy like a Joe Burrow that won the Heisman, right, to bring him to campus.
Yes, sir. I mean, like you said, Coach O is an excellent recruiter. I mean, he knows the ins and outs of it. I mean, and he's done it for so long. I mean, he's told me some stories that I'm, not going to share or anything like that. Right. I mean, but, he just goes, beyond and above, make sure, he gets the guys he wants, He's a great guy. I mean, I love a coach, that's going to scream and holler, but then also, it's going to be calm and cool whenever it's necessary too. He's just, like I said, a great guy, and, somebody that, I've seen myself playing for, since day one.
When we cut,
and
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's good. That's it.
We're going to take one more break, and Will, when we come back, I want to ask you about Lane Blue, teammate of yours that's going to be at LSU too. And I think Lane's going to be a heck of a player walking on. He'll end up being a scholarship guy. And talk about some of you 221 guys, and I know they would appreciate you getting your thoughts on them. Some of them are still trying to get scholarships, and we'll throw some of their names out and get your thoughts on them because I know you're a leader. And we'll come back and ask you about Kareem Moore and, Myron and Lame and Timothy Bird and Ben Crawford and Aquarius Goodwin and Gilberto Quinea. So, we'll ask you about all those guys when we come back. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Sports Scouting Report. We've got Will Campbell. We'll be right back. So, hey, guys, just wanted to take a minute to tell you about Harvey Autos. If you need a new or used car, there's 3 great dealerships right here worth checking out. John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, and Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Low prices, honest people. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. You're listening to Sports Scouting Report. Our guest is Will Campbell, offensive lineman at Neville High School. Will, it was a tough year because of lack of scholarships, and you had a senior class move on from Neville. All these guys, your teammates. Lane Blues, the first guy I want to ask you about. What a great linebacker. Could play fullback. 6 foot, 245, can run. Tough, strong, weight room guy. What do you think of Lane being a Tiger, enrolling as a preferred walk-on?
It's exciting, have somebody, that coming from my school, from where we live, that's going to be down there with me whenever I get there. Lane moved into Neville as a senior. He went to Cedar Creek, before, which is about 30 minutes down the road. But, as soon as he got there, me and him became close friends. We've been boxing every day after school. So, the bond is definitely there. But, LSU's, they're getting a big, strong, physical kid. He knows with, him coming in as a walk-on, he's got a lot to prove and a lot to do to, show him that he is capable of that scholarship. And I know that he's going to do that. He's going to go in there and do whatever it takes to, earn his stuff. And that's exactly what he's going to do, and he'll tell you the same.
I talked to his dad. He's got a great dad. His dad lives in the Shreveport area, as you know. And his dad's a great guy. And, I've talked to a lot of the parents at Neville, too. A lot of the parents and dads, like I talked to your dad, and I talked to a lot of the other guys' dads, like Andy Day. Andy's a great guy, Kane's dad.
Yes, sir.
But what about Kareem Moore? Y'all got he's a great DB that graduates 221. And did he end up anywhere? Kareem Moore, great safety for Neville.
I don't think, as of right now, he has ended up anywhere. He was an outstanding player for us his junior year when I was a sophomore. Probably one of the best players on the defense, and if not the best player coming back we had. But, he kind of battled a few injuries early, made him not be able to play. But, whenever he was able to play, he came and made an impact.
Yeah,
I think mainly this year, just really injuries kind of messed him up. But, I hope he gets a shot because, he's going to make the most of it if he does.
You got another person coming to Baton Rouge, a teammate. Myron and Lame's going to Southern as a walk-on, man. And Myron's going to be here, too, from Neville.
Yes, sir. Me and Myron, he plays defensive end, obviously. So, me and him go, we go head on head every day. We made each other better. I made him better, and, he made me better. Like I said, he's probably one of the most underrated defensive ends in the state. He can, do it all. He can pass rush, and he can read the run. Amazing.
Yeah,
and, just going against him, like I said, made both of us better. But, I'm excited, see him at Southern, and I know he's going to do great things.
And Will, he's a heck of a pass rusher. I saw him play 6'2", 200 pounds, can fly. Like you said, there's not a better guy to defend in practice than him. And then Timothy Bird, running back going to Hutchinson, Kansas Junior College. Him and Anthony Allen, weren't they one of the great 1-2 punches in the Monroe area at running back, Timothy Bird and him?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. I think they're probably one of the best running back duos I've ever seen. It's the same player, but it isn't at the same time. AJ and him are two electric players. Once they break loose, you might as well just stop running because you're not going to catch them. And for him to get that opportunity is great. He's a great running back. He's fast. He's going to get downhill, and he'll make you miss. He'll make more than one person miss a play. He has a great family, and, I love him like my brother, and, I'm just excited to see what he can do down there at Hutchinson.
And then there's Ben Crawford. We got to mention Ben, whether he plays college ball or not. Depends on if he wants to, baseball, football, but what a good receiver. But and Bill Aquarius Goodwin, another talented receiver that could play college ball. And Gilberto Quinez, offensive lineman for you. He was the only really senior, right, that played a lot last year?
Yes, sir. Gilberto was the only senior on the O-line, So, and he played next to me at left guard. And he, and and he played next to me. You know, he's a great player, a great kid. And, you know, I love him to death. You know, he's, you know, probably a little bit shorter, you know, for the college ball, but, you know, but you never know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if he went and walked on somewhere, I think he could definitely, you know, get him a spot. But, you know, and then, like you said, Ben Crawford, I mean, that's probably one of the hardest working dudes I've ever seen. I mean, he gets after it every single day. He drops a pass. He's screaming and yelling at himself. Sometimes I think he beats himself up too much, but, you know, he's a great guy. And Bill Quay is good, and, you know, probably one of the biggest receivers, you know, I've seen. I mean, he's 6'4", you know, 180, 190, something like that. You know, he's going to go win up. You know, he's got to get better at his jump balls. You know, he probably could get a chance to go play college ball, and I really hope he does because, like I said with the other ones, you know, really the way we've been, you know, taught and worked out by our coach Earn and all our great coaches, you know, you got to make the most of it. You got to make the most of each shot. So, you know, really any kid that's going to get a shot, you know, they're going to make the most of it and do what they can with it. And I, you know, I hope all my teammates can, you know, get a chance to play college ball because, you know, it'd be amazing to see.
And Will, they're going to love you for mentioning them because, you know, they're seniors and they're just, I'm sure they're going to love hearing this show that you did mention them and we mentioned them to get them, you know, get their name out there still and, you know, being appreciative of them, you know, playing whether they play college ball or not. We hope they all get a shot. Will, here's a couple of questions left. One is, we had an LSU fan from New Orleans want me to ask you about what did you like most about Baton Rouge? Is it the food? Is it the jambalaya, the etouffee? Is it the crawfish? What is it that you like most of? Is it the beautiful campus? They want to know what did you like most about Baton Rouge LSU?
You know, I like the brotherhood. You know, there's no. I mean, like you said, Coach O is a great guy, and you know, you don't see too many coaches that allow players, you know, come back even after they're played. You know. Some coaches just kind of, you know, once you're gone, you're gone. But, you know, he lets his guys come back, you know, just, and all my friends, you know, from high school will go there and, you know, be able to watch me play. It's a quick drive from my family, so nothing too far. And, you know, like I told you earlier, I mean, I've grown up going to LSU games, you know, used to walk around the Neville Stadium with the Neville jersey on and the LSU Tiger plastic football helmet. So, you know, I feel like, you know, this is where I wanted to be the whole time, no matter really what. And, you know, this is just one of the most great opportunities I can have, and, you know, I can't pass it up. So I just know what I got to do when I get down there and make the most of it.
And I'm going to tell you who you remind me of, and I don't know if you remember the guy because you weren't born when he was playing, but you might have saw him playing the pros. But you remind me of Alan Faneca that played for LSU. Yeah. You know Alan Faneca?
I mean, yes, sir, I've heard of him. Him and Mr. Jamie played together, so, you know, I've heard about him and seen some clips of him in the NFL and saw he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he was such a strong guy that would finish, and he was already college strong like you before he even got to college, and he got to LSU, and he got college strong, and then he just started dominating because he was committed, and he was about 6'5", a little over 6'5", about 310, and carried it well like you, and I mean, he wasn't 310 when he came out of high school, but a lot of people don't realize that Alan Faneca was a high school football player in Louisiana at John Curtis, and he left John Curtis to go to Texas, and he finished at Rosenberg High School in Lamar in Houston, Texas. So he's a Louisiana guy. A lot of people don't know that. But, you know, Alan Faneca, you know, going in the Hall of Fame, Pittsburgh Steelers, was a teammate, like I said, of Ben Barnalaw, Bo's dad, and also Jamie Howard, Walker's dad. But one final question for you, Will. You can play tackle or guard, and I probably already know this answer, but I think you'll play wherever Coach puts you because you'll do great. But has LSU mentioned whether they like you at tackle or guard, or just kind of keep it open?
You know, I think they want me at tackle, but, you know, like you said, you know, I'm willing to, you know, I'm willing to play whatever's going to put me on the, you know, the field early and help my team, you know, make it to the national championship. So whatever that is, I'm going to do. But, you know, I would definitely prefer playing left tackle.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be tough for a DN to get around you. I mean, when you put your hands on them, I've never seen a guy get around you. The Ruston game, and you know this, but people that aren't from Ruston or Monroe or West Monroe, you know what I'm talking about. The guys, the physical ability of these guys at Ruston and these schools in the Monroe are like Ouachita, Richwood, even the Wassmans, the Sterlingtons, even OCS, your school. There's a lot of big linemen. So when you get judged, you're not playing a lot of 5'9s. You're playing a lot of guys that can play, that are fast and big. Ruston had a huge O-line and a huge D-line. And I watched you basically dominate 3 or 4 of those Ruston players that were D1. And you know this, you played against them, but Ruston had, 4 or 5 guys, 250, 6'2", 6'3" on their D-line.
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. But, that all just, comes with, what my dad taught me, growing up. You got to play nasty. I mean, once the lights come on, you got to flip the switch and turn into a guy, that, not so nice. That's what I do every Friday. I walk across the road from school knowing what's about to go down and knowing that we got to take care of business. Like I said, when the lights come on, the switch flips and I turn into a guy and I'm going to try and hurt you every single play. and you're not going to get around me. That's just how I put it, and that's how I'm going to make sure it happens every single time. And I plan to bring that same attitude and that type of thing to LSU and do the same thing.
Will, you just made 500,000 people go buy season tickets that didn't even have they're gonna be going to the gift shop tomorrow morning at LSU and buying. And they might be going to Bob Sell's place to buy LSU stuff, huh? On Forsyth.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, what a great young man. I mean, Will, you sound like a college coach more than a high school kid, and I wouldn't expect anything different from you from watching you play. And your dad's proud of you. And your dad is 6'5". I talked to your dad, Brian. And you got your dad by an inch. Your dad said you finally overtook him in height, huh?
Oh yeah, so I think I got him a little bit more than an inch. I think he just says that because he don't like me being that much taller than him.
Oh man, so 6'4" maybe his daddy's kind of fudging on an inch, huh?
Yeah, man.
It's incredible though. Again, the tradition at Neville, and y'all have a chance. I really believe that Neville's best team in 5 years, going back to that state title
team right now.
Yeah, I think y'all have that in Batterford might be the fastest running quarterback in the state, don't you think? He can.
Oh yes, sir, for sure. He's an athlete, a really good one too. He's great, at every sport he plays.
Yeah,
and he's been that way since we're growing up.
6'2", 180, runs a 4.5 in the 40, legit, as Will knows. And when you got a guy like Anthony Allen, you got this big O-line with Kane Day and Daniel and Will and Landon and Zeb at receiver, who's going to play college baseball at LSU, and several other kids. What a great chance of maybe you might even see an Edna Carr Neville rematch. You never know in the Dome.
That's definitely what we're expecting somewhere along the road, and that's that's what we want, and that's what they want. Obviously, to be the best, you're gonna have to go through the best. Really, and feel like every year, it really is gonna come down to us, Carr, and Warren East and teams like that.
And then
really,
yeah.
And then, like I said, it's gonna be a dog fight. But I feel like this year we have the guys, we have the coaching staff, we have everything we need to make it happen.
You'll get to play against your former teammate Aaron Anderson from Edna Carr. That would be
and hopefully Taji Hill.
That's right. The D tackle, man. He's 6'2", about 300, runs about a 4.9, and then.
Oh, he can play. I text him every week.
And I know another guy that you're looking at probably is the Warren Easton D tackle nose guard that was committed. Hopefully they get him back in the fold too at Warren Easton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But hey, look, Will, don't hang up yet. I appreciate you being on the show, man. You really made a lot of Baton Rouge people and Louisiana people excited. I think they're gonna I think they're gonna run through a wall tomorrow when they hear this show.
Yes, sir.
They're gonna get their Ed Orgeron personality going on and go through those walls. But look, don't hang up. Everybody go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. We got a story on Hammond High School. Jace Lejeune interviewed Hammond. Dorset Buckles, speaking of former players, Will, the coach at Hammond, played at LSU. He's from Amite. Dorset Buckles, the head coach at Hammond High, was a linebacker at LSU. Jace interviewed him, and many more articles. We'll see everybody on Monday.
Thanks Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.